What's up, guys? We are Tottenham TV here. We're previewing the game on Saturday against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. We're here with Ollie from Talk Crystal Palace. How are you doing, Ollie? Welcome to the channel.
Not bad, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. How are Palace doing this season? Obviously, Roy Hodgson took over from last season after your disastrous start, kept you up, but have you improved on last season, do you feel?
No, in a word. Towards the end of last season, we were playing some of the best football probably the best football I've ever seen Palace play. We honestly looked like we would be challenging for top 7 this year. That was genuinely my hope.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because obviously, in my opinion, 7th place is up for grabs. I think obviously Everton are the obvious ones which should be up there, but in my opinion, we weren't much worse than Everton last season. But unfortunately, we lost a few players. We lost Johan Kabay on a free, which was a massive loss. He's gone to some Saudi Arabian club where he's probably on about 300 grand a week. Loftus-Cheek as well, someone who we obviously had on loan last year. We didn't sign him permanently, and we've really missed him as well. We brought some players in like Max Meyer, Kiate, Jordan Ayew, who I think is absolutely useless. But it's just annoying because we haven't really built on last year, and it's a shame because last year we beat Leicester 5-0 at Selhurst towards the end of the season. I think we won like 5 of our last 6 games. And we were comprehensively outplaying teams. Like, we weren't just scraping results, we were absolutely dominating them. But this year just hasn't really been the same. I think our lack of a proper goal scorer is costing us. Benteke is out till New Year anyway, and although he was hardly prolific,
yeah, I was about to say, he a proper goal scorer.
Yeah, but we just played a lot better when he was in the team. I think he gave us a focal point, but we just don't have that at the moment. And I think fans are starting to lose faith with Roy. To be honest, some of his decisions are very questionable, and yeah, I mean,
is he under pressure?
Yeah, I think he is. I think Palace fans will always love him for what he did last year because he did save us last year. And obviously he's a local lad. And I think he's a really likable manager, especially when he's in charge of you. But I think definitely a lot of fans are questioning him. He's very reluctant to make substitutions, which costs us in a lot of games. We'll often go a full game making no subs, which in the modern game is just pretty much not, like, no one does that. And yeah, I mean, he kind of he puts like square pegs in round holes and insisting on playing Max Meyer on the left wing, and it's just very peculiar. So yeah, I would say he's under pressure, but to be honest, I don't think there's many managers out there who I can realistically see replacing him. So we'll have to wait and see.
You've had Pardew, then you had Allardyce. Yeah. Now Hodgson. Is it time to give David Moyes a go?
Yeah. I mean, we're working our way around them. To be fair to all 3 of them, they all did well at points for us. I mean, under Pardew, we were 5th at Christmas. But yeah, I mean, we do unfortunately have a habit of using those stereotypical managers, kind of West Ham style. And then the one time we didn't, we got Frank de Boer in, and he lasted 4 games. So yeah, I mean, you can never know what's going to happen with Palace. It's a bit of a merry-go-round sometimes. So yeah,
I feel sorry for de Boer. The reason I feel sorry for de Boer is that he was given 4 games. Now he had 4 games without Zaha, and every game since then without Zaha you have lost. And he was given 4 games without Zaha, and he lost those 4 games, and he was sacked after 4 games. Do you reckon he was sacked too early?
I think when people asked me that last season, I always said it was clear it wasn't going to work. And I think, in a way, I stand by that. I think as you said, it was such a massive change in philosophy because he's a classic Dutch total football. And at the time, we just weren't that good. Like, we played Huddersfield, which we had our first game of the season. We lost 3-0 at home to Huddersfield, which was just a disaster. But on another day, that game could have been like 5-3 to us. We missed a hatful of chances. And then, obviously, you said we were without Zaha, and that's undoubtedly, as we've seen, that is our entire attacking threat just gone. We are unlucky to lose at Anfield. Benteke missed an absolute sitter in like the 85th minute, and then Mane scored 2 minutes later. We lost 1-0, so that could have been a win on a different day. We lost to Swansea at home. We were just awful that day. And then we played Burnley. I'll never forget that. We lost 1-0, and I don't exaggerate, we could have won that 7-1. We absolutely dominated. We missed like 3 open goals, hit the woodwork twice. It was just awful. But yeah, I mean, we stayed up, and ultimately, as long as we stayed up, I've got to kind of back the decision, to be honest.
Fair enough. But looking at Zaha, obviously, there's always a lot of talk about Wilfried Zaha. He's kind of changed position more this season, and I think last season he was still playing on the wing. He's more of a striker now. Do you see that's his position now?
I think he wouldn't be able to lead the line by himself. He's not a natural striker. I think the reason we play him there, we play him the two up top, just so he has a bit more freedom, and he's kind of less difficult to track. Because if he's on the wing, you could just stick 3 players on that flank and you kind of nullify him. I don't think he's like a natural goal scorer. He's not going to bang 20 goals a season, but he can certainly do a job there. And if he has the right support with him up there, he can be very, very effective.
And are you sick yet of watching Andros Townsend cut inside and having a shot blocked?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, his stats in terms of output are, in my opinion, unacceptable. Since the beginning of the season before last, I think Chris Smalling has got more goals and assists than him in 34 fewer games, which is awful.
Andros.
I know it's tough because he always puts a great shift, and you can't doubt his commitment for 1 second. And I think he's a good team player, but he scored against Chelsea. And I mean, I honestly can't remember the last time he scored in the league before that. So yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not his biggest fan. But if you say on Twitter Townsend's rubbish, you get absolutely slated for it.
Really?
So yeah, yeah, he's a bit of a golden boy, I think, amongst the Palace fans. I'm not entirely sure why, to be honest.
I don't know. We didn't mind him at Spurs. We thought he had a lot of potential, but at the end of the day, as you said, his output was just non-existent. In all honesty, he really rarely gets goals and assists, even though he looks pretty good. So I don't know, something to think about. But yeah, his trademark cut inside and shoot and get the shot blocked. That's his trademark move. Who would you say, in terms of, obviously as a defensive unit, Palace are fairly strong. That's kind of where their strengths lie. Who do you say where do you think your strengths lie in defence in terms of personnel?
I'd say
where your weaknesses as well.
The main across the whole back 5, the goalkeeper and the back 4 have been absolutely brilliant this season. Hennessy was someone who was hated by Palace fans because he replaced Julian Speroni, who's a club legend, but he's been excellent this season, arguably our player of the season. We've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, who I don't know if you've seen his stats this year, but it's incredible. I think he's only missed 2 tackles this season, which it's just his stats are incredible, and he is going to be
19. Is he 19?
He's 20. Yeah, he is undoubtedly going to be a superstar, in my opinion. Absolutely phenomenal defender. We've got Van Aanholt on the left back, who's great going forward, and Tompkins and Saka at centre back, who have been very solid partnership for us. But it's just unfortunately they get overexposed by the midfield a lot. We've got Luka Milivojevic, who plays in holding midfield, but I think we really miss Cabaye on a defensive basis. He puts so much work in midfield defensively, which people didn't really appreciate, I think, outside Palace. But it's really clear we miss him this year. We've got Kiate in midfield, who just hasn't really done the same thing, in my opinion. And then obviously our main weakness is scoring goals. When Zaha isn't performing, we do not score. The goal against Chelsea is a great goal, and it was the first goal Zaha hasn't been involved in this season, I think.
Oh my God.
which is problematic. We very much rely on him going forward, and as stats show, when he doesn't play, we don't score and we don't win. So yeah, that's the main weakness.
Well, going back to Wan-Bissaka, Spurs might be in the market for a fullback soon, given the performances of Trippier and Aurier have been fairly poor recently. Do you reckon he's someone Spurs should be looking at?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's not the finished product yet. He actually used to be a winger and converted to a fullback, and so he can beat his man. His crossing isn't fantastic. He's not your classic marauding wing back, but one-on-one, he does not get beaten. I think he actually made his debut against Spurs last year. And he played really, really well. And yeah, I mean, since then he's gone from strength to strength. He's come up against people like Mane, Sanchez, Martial, Rashford, and to be honest, he's pocketed all of them. He's been absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
How do you see the game going on Saturday?
We're going to lose. No, I mean, I saw someone tweet, I think it was actually a Spurs fan that tweeted it, summed it up perfectly. Palace are always tough to beat, but they always get beat. It always happens. We'll play against good teams and people will be like, oh, Palace are a good outfit this year. It just doesn't translate into results, unfortunately. We've got the worst home record in the league. You've got the best away record in the league. All the signs point to an away win. Having said that, we never like to do things the easy way. We played against Arsenal and they'd got 10 in a row. We've been awful and we should have beaten them.
Yeah, you should have beaten them.
Yeah, we should. We'll ignore Lacazette handball, but yeah, I mean, you can never know with Palace, but Spurs are one of those teams, kind of like Man United for us, where we historically don't do very well against them, and you always seem to kind of grind out results against teams lower down the league. And I do think, especially with Eriksen and Ali coming back, I think we're going to struggle on Saturday, to be honest.
It's going to be more of a defensive approach as usual, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Counter-attack?
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be our best chance of beating you. I think, to be fair, against Arsenal, we went for them. We did go for them a bit and it worked, but I mean, you can't overexpose yourself against these teams. And realistically, if you're going to beat them, you have to be defensively solid and nullify their attacking threats. And that's exactly what we're going to look to do, I think.
All right, what's your prediction then?
It's so hard to tell. I think, God, I reckon probably like a 2-1 Spurs. I think you'll score first, we'll equalise, and then you'll score and just kind of kill the game. But yeah, I don't know. It's Palace are probably the hardest team to predict in the league. I would say you just never ever know what team is going to turn up, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. But I can't. We can't play Spurs at home, and I can't be like, yeah, we're going to beat them 3-0 because that would just be ridiculous. So I'll go pessimistic and hope that I'm proved wrong. All
right. Well, cheers for coming on, Ollie. Are you going to be at the game on Saturday?
Unfortunately, not, because I'm based up in Newcastle at university.
Oh,
so. It's yeah, I don't get to go to many games, unfortunately, but I will be watching as a great armchair fan on the TV. So,
all right, well, it'll be good to catch up with you after the game if you're around. And
yeah, absolutely.
For coming on, I was always subscribe to Talk Crystal Palace if you want a good Crystal Palace content. Let us know your predictions in the comments below, and as always, come on, you Spurs.